To comment on President El-Sisi's European tour, we're joined from Cairo by journalist Ihab Omar. Mr. Ihab, thank you so much for joining us on Q News. First off, how do you view President El-Sisi's tour of several European countries, especially in light of the current situation in the region?
El-Sisi, since he took office in 2014, has been very keen to communicate with the political circles that Egypt has not been much communicating with before, or even inventing new political circls. East Mediterranean has been invented from ground with Egypt, Greece, and Cyprus. Also, Central Europe and the Fitchgrad grouping, that was the first time that Egypt heads towards these groupings in the era of President Sisi. So now we see a merge between the two tracks by going to Scandinavia in the north of Europe. Now we speak about North Europe, the three countries, Denmark, Norway, and Ireland. President Sisi is the first Egyptian ruler, the first Egyptian president visiting the Kingdom of Denmark, and he will be the first Egyptian president visiting the Kingdom of Norway. The three visits have got an explicit economic face, but there are also politics. Politics and economy are now two faces of the same token and the two faces of the same process happening now. When we speak about Norway and Denmark, and they are members of the EU, they are members of this joint bloc. Talking to them about investment, economy, and illegal immigration is important, and they are also going to speak with Egypt about the Middle East issue, the Palestinian issue, and the developments in Lebanon and Syria. Denmark, which was the beginning of the tour, of the historic tour of President Sisi to visit Scandinavia. Denmark has got very important investments in Egypt since the 1980s in Egypt. Denmark plays a very important role in the development aid to Egypt. So the visit to Denmark is new of its kind, inventing new political circles, because President Sisi, since he took office, has been keen to produce a new state that is not biased east or west, but an independent state.
Sir, speaking of the talks in Denmark today, how do you assess President El-Sisi's talks in Denmark, particularly regarding economic cooperation?
It's true that the visit has been very much highlighted to be on economy. There has been great welcome to President Sisi, and it has been an extraordinary visit to Denmark. All circles and all groups in Denmark have welcomed the president, the royal court, the parliament, the different circles in Denmark are very much open to Egypt, and Egypt is opening new venues for investment in Egypt and going to these countries to attract investments. Egypt is one of the most important emerging economies. The industrial experiment under President Sisi is venturing into new markets, including that. So it's like a door-knocking mission by President Sisi, and this is one of the most important missions made by President Sisi since 2020. And we need to highlight this visit as one of the most important events of 2024 regarding the foreign tours of President Sisi.
Now, sir, how can this tour help in finding a solution to the crisis in the Gaza Strip?
Ireland in particular has got very important weight, and they have great concern of the Palestinian issue since the 1940s, because Ireland has been suffering the British occupation of North Ireland. So they have been seeing North Ireland occupied by the British. So they sympathize with the Palestinians because it is an occupation that is made by the British in Palestine. So they have sympathy with the Palestinians. Denmark and Norway have got moderate opinions and moderate positions regarding the Palestinian issue. And Denmark has got more than one initiative when it was the chair of the EU. So the idea of communicating with these countries, Denmark, Norway, and Ireland, is important. It's important to have diplomacy by president, presidential diplomacy to go to these capitals, Copenhagen, Oslo, and Dublin. It's important to explain the Palestinian issue and the new developments regarding the Palestinian issue. That was a very important thing, and it really serves the Palestinian cause as an axial cause for the Arabs.
Lastly, sir, what is your perspective on the efforts made by President El-Sisi to increase foreign investment into the country?
In fact, the efforts by President Sisi would mean that he reads the international economic plateau, and he is selective on the investments that are useful for the Egyptian industry. And the president is communicating with the huge multilateral companies and international companies. Some countries went to the open markets, but their economies became very consumerist ones. And some has got markets that are only receiving second-class products. But Egypt is selective about the foreign investors and foreign direct investment. So this is the importance of President Sisi going to a very important industrial country like Norway and like Denmark, and to North Europe, the industrial North Europe and Scandinavia. That's a very important chapter for the Egyptian economy, and to ensure the entry of foreign direct investment into Egypt in this critical time where everybody in the world needs foreign direct investment.
That was journalist Ihab Omar, who joined us from Cairo. Thank you so much for your insights.